sometimes we need to limit the list of values that can be stored in a field. For example, here in our customer class, let's define a new field called membership and set it to models.char field with a max length of 1. Now let's imagine in this field, we can have one of these three values. We can have B, that is short for bronze, or S for silver, or G for gold. How can we implement this? Well, let's go back to our documentation. Earlier, I told you that all field types share these options. One of these options is choices, and we use this to specify the possible values for a field. So what we need to pass here is a sequence consisting of iterables of exactly 2 items. Now, I know this is a mouthful. Let's look at a real example. So over here, we have an array of tuples where each tuple includes 2 values. The first value is the actual value we're storing in the database, and the second value is a human readable name. So back to our customer class. Here I'm going to define a new attribute called membership _choices. I'm using uppercase letters here to indicate that this is a fixed list of values. We shouldn't mess with it, okay? So we're going to set this to an array. In this array, we're going to add 3 tuples. Here's the first tuple. For the value, I'm going to use B, that is for bronze, and for human readable name, I'm going to use bronze. Now let's duplicate this a couple times and change this to S and silver. And finally, G and gold. Now that we have this array, we can go to our membership field and set choices to membership choices. Okay, like this. Now we can also set the default value. So we can set default to, let's say B, that is for bronze. Now this works, but there is a tiny problem in our implementation. If tomorrow we decide to change B to something else, then there are 2 places we have to modify. Here's one place and here's the other place. So the best practice is to define these values separately. So here we can define another attribute called membership _bronze. We set it to B. So this is where we store the actual value. And now we reference that in multiple places. So here we use membership _bronze. And also when setting the default value, we use membership _bronze. Okay. Now for consistency, we should also define separate attributes for S and G. I'm going to pause the video and do this on my own. All right, here's the end result. We have 3 attributes: membership bronze, silver, and gold, and we have used them here. Now you might be wondering why we need the human readable name. Well, later when we talk about the admin interface, you will see that this human readable name will be used in a drop-down list to populate this field. We'll talk about that later in the course. Now, a little exercise for you. I want you to create the order class with 2 fields, placed at and payment status. Placed at should be a datetime field and it should be auto-populated at the time we create an order object. Payment status should be a char field with these values. So P for pending, C for complete, and F for fail. Spend a couple minutes on this, then come back see my solution. All right, here's my implementation of the order class. So first we have our constants, which are payment status pending, complete, failed, and choices. And then we have our fields, which are placed at, which is a datetime field. And here I've said auto now add to true. So the first time we create an order, Django automatically populates this field. Next, we have payment status, which is a char field with a max length of 1. I've set choices to our array of choices and the default value to payment status pending.